Should you be blogging in 2025 as a business owner? Like, is it really worth it with all these social media platforms, videos, podcast, Substack? Like, do we really need to be blogging? I think so. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. Because I know that a lot of you think it might be outdated, that it takes too much time. Is it really worth it? Oh, I get all these leads through Instagram. But I'm here to tell you, yes, you very much need to be blogging. I would highly encourage it. So let's dive into why. Of course, first of all, I'm going to point out the SEO benefits. Blogging helps you get more organic traffic to your website. Even if you're like, I don't want to learn about SEO, I don't know about SEO, I don't have time, I get too confused about SEO. Even if you are not perfectly optimizing your blog post, you can still get website traffic. And I know for somebody listening that does care about SEO, you might be like, what? Excuse me, I've spent all this time learning about SEO and you're telling me I could have gotten away with not doing that? No. I'm saying learning about SEO greatly improves your chances. Obviously, like if we do something better, it's going to perform better. But even if you're not trying to rank #1 on Google, that post can probably still get a little bit of traffic. It's also going to help build your authority in your niche and in your industry, which is going to make sales easier. It's going to be easier to be invited on podcasts and make collaborations with other business owners because you are seen as an authority. And part of that is because long form content has value, and a lot more value typically, because we can only fit so much in an Instagram carousel or a reel or a super thread. So if you are wanting to go the extra mile for your community, your audience, and you're like, man, this is really hard to like shrink all this information down into a 30-second reel and I can't, communicate all this. Guess what? That's the perfect place to actually run a blog post. And you can do maybe one talking point in your reel and then point them back to the blog post. Which leads me to my next point, which is you're sending them to your website. So then it's typically a little bit easier to generate leads in terms of either clients or subscribers, whichever way you want to look at it. Because for subscribers, the email opt-in form can be right there in the middle of the post, in the sidebar at the bottom of the post. You're not having to say like comment XYZ to get the link, and then you have to do all these steps. They're already there and they can just type that in. Or you have the link to book a discovery call. It's right there. And going back to the SEO piece, if you are ranking in Google for these posts, this is warmer traffic because you are answering people's questions. You show up in Google search. They're like, great, she has my answer. Wow, I'm just going to reach out to her and see if I can work with her. Because they are already a warm lead. They are actively looking for your help. And your blog post showed up to save the day. The last little point that I want to make is going back to what I said a second ago about like you can use one talking point in a reel, point them back to the blog post. Your blog post can kind of be like the backbone of all of your content. You can take that blog post and break it up into threads, emails, Instagram carousels, a reel. Like you can repurpose, and you don't have to repurpose the entire post. So all of those things are great reasons to start blogging, but I know you might be thinking, okay, but it's 2025. There's AI tools. I've heard that like the Google algorithm has changed a bunch. So like, what are we doing here? Blogging in 2025 isn't about quantity. It is about quality and strategy. You can use AI to help write your post, but you're still gonna need to really beef it up with your own expertise because Google is looking at content that is valuable, that is unique, that is personalized, that has stories that they can tell is written by a human. They are really prioritizing experience and expertise. And you can demonstrate that by talking about client results, things that you have done in XYZ, whatever topic that you're talking about. One of my favorite tips that I have been sharing with people lately is when you're writing blog posts, Talk to your clients, to your friends, to get them to contribute or give a quote in your blog post, because then it's user-generated content and Google sees, oh, look, there's 5 different perspectives in this article talking about this topic and not just one. So it could be more valuable to the user because it's not just one potential answer, it's 5 different answers, or it might be 5 perspectives on the same answer. So if you are planning on blogging in 2025, don't feel like you have to blog every single week, and especially not more than once a week. Those days are long gone. I mean, if you really want to, you can, but it is definitely not necessary. I would encourage you to lean into SEO because, I mean, if you're going to create this content, you might as well try and get at least a little bit of SEO traction. I have some really inexpensive trainings that I will link down in the description that are specific to blogging, but I also want to encourage you to update old content. So if you blogged 5 years ago and those blogs still exist on your website, great. Unless they are totally off topic or very irrelevant, don't delete them. Update them. They might actually be ranking in Google because that's one of the benefits of blogging and SEO. Your content has a much longer shelf life. I got an inquiry 2 months ago from a blog post that I wrote 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So do not delete those old blog posts. So all that to say, blogging is far from dead. I really encourage you to try it. Check out the links down in the description. If you have questions, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video.